A quiet summer afternoon turns into chaos when an entitled HOA Karen loses her mind after your 10-year-old son politely refuses to give free lemonade to her spoiled child. What begins as a simple neighborhood lemonade stand suddenly becomes a scene of shocking rage when Karen floors her SUV in a fit of entitlement, plowing over the table, crushing the cooler, and narrowly missing your son. The HOA immediately tries to cover it up. Karen claims it was an accident. Neighbors give conflicting stories. Security cameras mysteriously malfunction, but they didn't expect you, a calm parent with a sharp memory, receipts, and a deep knowledge of the law. As the HOA tries to silence you, intimidate you, and protect their favorite Karen, you gather evidence. Footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera. Witness statements. A hidden HOA email thread leaking their cover-up. Karen's past complaints and documented harassment. You prepare to expose everything. Not just Karen, but the HOA's corruption, favoritism, and illegal protection of a dangerous woman. When the truth finally comes out, the entire community is shaken. Karen faces charges. The HOA faces fines and possibly dissolution. And your son? He becomes the local hero whose lemonade stand brought a tyrant to justice as the dust settles from Karen's reckless act. Your son stands trembling beside the shattered remains of his lemonade stand. The crushed table legs lie twisted under Karen's SUV bumper. Ice and lemon slices scattered across the pavement like a crime scene. Karen jumps out of the vehicle, not to check if your son is okay, but to yell. "This is what happens when you disrespect my child!" she screams, pointing a shaking, entitled finger at your son. You sprint outside, heart pounding, grabbing your boy and checking him for injuries. He's shaken, scraped, and frightened, but alive. Karen doesn't care. She demands you apologize for raising a rude child. Within minutes, 2 HOA board members rush over, whispering frantically. To Karen, they pull out their clipboards like they're police officers, insisting, "You need to calm down. Let's settle this quietly. No need to involve other parties." They look at you with cold, warning eyes. The neighbors gather, some recording, some too scared to get involved. You ask one simple question. "Why did she do this?" Karen replies with a smirk. "He refused service. That's discrimination. I had every right to stop him." Her words stun the crowd. The HOA nods behind her, trying to legitimize her insanity. But you notice something on your left. Your neighbor's doorbell camera facing the entire scene. A silent witness. You realize something important. The HOA can lie. Karen can twist the story. But the camera cannot be intimidated. You take your son's hand and say calmly, "All right, if you want to settle this quietly, we'll settle it in court." Karen's face drains of color. The HOA stiffens. The crowd murmurs. This is the moment everything changes. Karen crosses her arms, trying to act confident, though her voice shakes. "You can't do anything," she snaps. "The HOA is on my side." But the neighbors aren't fooled anymore. Several rush over and whisper, "I recorded everything. She almost hit your son. This has gone too far." Karen hears them and panics. Meanwhile, the HOA board tries to shield her. "Let's all calm down and avoid legal escalation," one member says, sweat dripping down his neck. "This is just a misunderstanding." You look directly at Karen and reply, "A misunderstanding doesn't involve a 2,000-pound SUV rolling onto my child's legs." Karen flinches. The HOA members freeze. Then sirens. Someone in the neighborhood called the real authorities. Within moments, a police cruiser pulls up. The officer steps out and immediately notices the collapsed lemonade stand. Tire tracks through the debris. Your shaken son. Karen's SUV still halfway parked on the wreckage. Karen rushes to the officer, waving her hands dramatically. "Officer, thank goodness you're here. This child was being aggressive and—" The officer lifts a hand. "Ma'am, please step aside." He walks straight to your neighbor, who's holding out their phone with the doorbell camera footage ready to play. Karen's smirk evaporates. The officer watches the playback. His expression shifts from neutral to stern to furious. He turns to Karen. "Ma'am, you drove a vehicle toward a minor, destroyed his property, and endangered his life." Karen stutters. I didn't mean, he refused to sell lemonade?" The officer blinks. "That is not a legal justification for attempted assault." The HOA board tries to intervene. We can fix this internally. The officer shuts them down instantly. You have zero authority in criminal matters. Karen's knees buckle. The crowd gasps. The officer radios for backup and says, "Ma'am, put your hands behind your back." Karen whimpers as handcuffs click around her wrists. The HOA members scatter like cockroaches. Your son squeezes your hand and whispers, "Dad, does this mean she can't hurt anyone anymore?" You kneel and hug him. "No, buddy. This means justice starts now. If you want, I can continue with..." Karen's arrest becomes the talk of the entire neighborhood. A week later, you find yourself sitting in a courtroom, your son beside you, holding your hand while Karen is escorted in wearing a stiff suit and an expression somewhere. Between rage and panic, her lawyer whispers frantically, trying to keep her calm. The judge enters. Everyone stands. Karen immediately starts pointing. "Your Honor, I was provoked. The child refused to serve my son. The HOA said I had the right to enforce community rules." The judge looks over her glasses, unimpressed. "Miss Karen, refusing to sell lemonade is not justification for using your vehicle as a weapon." Karen sputters. Her lawyer sinks lower in his seat. The judge continues. "And the HOA claimed you had authority to enforce rules on public property, even though this street is not owned by them?" The courtroom murmurs. Karen freezes. The HOA board, all subpoenaed, shift nervously. The judge turns to them. "I want to be very clear. Your organization has been issuing illegal citations, attempting to intimidate residents, and now allegedly encouraging vigilante behavior." One board member tries to reply, "Your Honor, we were just trying to maintain..." The judge slams her gavel. Silence. She continues, "I've reviewed the evidence, the footage, and the HOA bylaws. Not only did Ms. Karen commit a criminal act, your HOA operated outside its legal authority entirely." Karen's eyes widen. The HOA board begins sweating bullets. Then the judge delivers the final blow. "This HOA is hereby fined, dissolved, and its remaining funds will be used to pay restitution to the victim's family." Gasps fill the courtroom. Karen panics. "That's not fair. They told me I had power. They said I could enforce the rules." The HOA members gape at her. She keeps pointing wildly. "They made me do it." The judge shakes her head. "Miss Karen, nothing and no one made you drive a vehicle toward a child." Karen collapses into her chair, defeated. The judge then turns to you. "Your son deserves justice. You will receive compensation for the damages, medical evaluations, and emotional distress." Your son squeezes your hand. You smile down at him. Justice delivered. HOA dismantled. Karen exposed. A few days after the court ruling, you're packing away the broken pieces of the lemonade stand. Your son kneels beside you, quiet but calmer than before. Life is beginning to feel normal again, until you hear small footsteps behind you. Karen's son. He stands on the sidewalk, hands in his pockets, staring at the ground. Sir?" he whispers. You look up surprised. He shuffles nervously. "I just wanted to say sorry. My mom told me to yell at your kid." "I didn't want to. She said if I didn't get lemonade for free, she'd take away my games." Your son looks at him, confused but sympathetic. The boy continues. "When she started driving, I told her to stop. I told her it was stupid. I didn't know she'd really do it." He wipes his eyes with his sleeve. She's not like a normal mom. She screams a lot. And now she's going to jail. And it's my fault." You kneel down and put a hand on his shoulder. "Hey, none of this is your fault. What she did was wrong, but you're just a kid trying to survive. You did the right thing coming here." Your son nods beside you. "You can come to our lemonade stand any time," he says softly. The boy smiles for the first time. Before he leaves, he whispers something that hits you hard. "I wish she was more like you." As he walks away, you stand up and look at your son. The sun is setting, warm and calm. After everything, the lies, the terror, the HOA corruption, the courtroom drama, your son is safe. The HOA is gone. Justice is done. Your son takes your hand and says, "Dad, can we rebuild the lemonade stand?" You smile. "Yeah, buddy. But this time, we'll make it bigger." You both laugh, and for the first time in a long time, it finally feels like peace.